Hello everyone, my name is Sooah. Before we get started, I want to ask how many of you have visited the Maldives? Can you raise your hand? I once had a conversation with one of my favorite teachers on our back home. At the time, I asked which country or area would be the most memorable. She said, the Maldives. She also recommended that I visit this marvelous area before it sinks from the sea level rising. The Maldives is known as one of the most beautiful recreation areas that people want to visit and they can enjoy their time. Unfortunately, this area is in the process of being slowly flooded by the rising sea level, which is created by human activities. This area will disappear because of climate change in a few decades. Climate change is not happening just because of nature. It is also caused by human beings. Sadly, the situation is getting worse as time passes. Climate change refers to changes in Earth's temperature over time. Global warming is a contributing factor to climate change and refers to the effect of greenhouse gases on the Earth's average surface temperature. According to the Environmental Encyclopedia, the main cause of climate change is the greenhouse effect. The primary gases that occur in nature are carbon dioxide and methane. Surprisingly, without the greenhouse effect, the planet would be too cold to support life. However, the problem is that too much gas is being produced. Over time, the amount of greenhouse gases trapped in the Earth's atmosphere has increased at an alarming rate, causing a worldwide temperature to rise more and more while the icebergs are melting. This is why icebergs are melting today, and it is a leading cause of the rising sea level. A great example of human activities affect the cause of climate change is the burning of fossil fuels, which produces a tremendous amount of carbon dioxide. As time passed, this has had a tragic effect on the atmosphere, and the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has risen by more than 30% over a few decades. Climate change studies have said that methane emissions come from the production of fossil fuels. These gases may cause even more harm than carbon dioxide. Even though less of them exist, because they have a much greater effect on Earth's temperature. Methane, for example, is a greenhouse gas that is 21 times as potent as carbon dioxide. From the BBC, at the beginning of October in 2015, a methane gas leak from a California storage facility vented about 5 billion cubic feet of gases into atmosphere. The leak took more than 3 months to seal and was finally capped on February 18, 2016. The incident constituted the largest accidental discharge of greenhouse gases in US history. In addition, humans have created and released greenhouse gases that do not occur in nature. These include hydrofluorocarbons and the perfluorocarbons, which are created during industrial processes of aluminum production and electrical transmission, these substances have an effect on the planet's temperature that is 1,000 times worse than carbon dioxide. Surveys suggest that most Americans either disagree with these findings or are unaware of them. A 2016 Pew Research Study Center found that only 48% of American adults surveyed shared the belief that increased global temperatures resulted from human activities. Even if all members of a society agree that global temperatures are rising and humans are the cause, there is no obvious response to challenges created by climate change. No climate model formulated by scientists to chart climate patterns has had 100% accuracy in predicting changes. Last summer, I had a talk with my dad about the extremely hot weather that makes it very hard to breathe in Gwangju. He said he would be fine with this weather if it gets worse because he is old. But he said he is also worried about his grandchildren and how they will overcome this difficulty of climate change. The Earth we live on is such a very beautiful planet, but the climate change caused by human activities is destroying it. The ice is melting, the sea levels are rising, and our corals are dying. The nature of the world is in the process of being destroyed. And the natural disasters like hurricanes are getting bigger and occurring more often. Sadly, kids in 22nd century may not know about climate change. When I was a kid, I grew up eating many different types of tropical fruits. As a fruit lover, I also want my kids to experience the wonderful taste I did. In the worst case scenario, my future kids would not even know about the Maldives and tropical fruits. Because climate change is constantly affecting the world in an acceptable way. Everyone needs to know about the seriousness of this issue. I want to help my kids make better choices in the future and become a part of the solution to the problem. I hope everyone will forever be able to visit the Maldives and enjoy not only tropical fruits, but also the civilization of the many countries that are currently flooded as a result of climate change. Thank you.